I invited my affair partner into our marriage. I truly believed my husband would understand. After all, they knew each other. We'd all worked together, shared late nights in the same boardrooms, laughed over drinks after long meetings. I thought our history might be enough to soften the edges of what I was about to do. I was wrong. What Eric did instead shattered everything. And even now, after all the wreckage, he still calls sometimes, says he misses me. His voice is quiet, almost careful, like he's not sure he should still care. But none of it changes how the story ends. Once you understand how it really happened, you'll know why I lost everything. It began 2 years ago in a sleek, fast-moving marketing firm where the three of us worked. Eric and I had been married for 9 years. Not unhappy, not exactly. But we'd settled into something that felt less like comfort and more like habit. Wake up, emails, coffee, commute, meetings, dinner, Netflix, sleep, repeat. Love, when it fades, doesn't always announce itself with shouting or slammed doors. Sometimes it just slips quietly beneath routine, unnoticed until something or someone shakes you awake. That someone was Mateo. He was magnetic in a way you couldn't manufacture. Confident, a little reckless, with a dry, disarming humor that made even silence feel like a conversation. We worked a few pitches together, shared inside jokes across cubicles, exchanged long looks that lingered too long to be innocent. I found myself dressing with more intention on Mondays, smiling more, laughing louder. I told myself it was harmless, just a connection, a spark to remind me that I was still capable of being seen. Eric liked Mateo. That made it easier at first. We grabbed drinks, the three of us after deadlines. Eric joked with him, thanked him for keeping me sane at work. I think he thought Mateo was filling in gaps, taking the pressure off. That if someone else could make me smile, maybe I'd stop looking at him like I was waiting for something he couldn't give anymore. Mateo and I didn't cross the line right away, but we tiptoed toward it like we were daring fate to catch us. Every glance felt louder, every brush of skin charged. One late night, after a big pitch, we stayed behind. Empty office, half-drunk wine, the quiet kind of darkness that feels like permission. He leaned in. I didn't stop him. I kissed him like I'd forgotten how to breathe without it. I went home that night feeling more alive than I had in years, and more ashamed than I'd ever admit. But I didn't stop. The secrecy became a kind of addiction. Lunchtime escapes. Hotel rooms booked under fake names. Flirtations disguised as business chats. At home, I was still the dutiful wife, making dinner, folding laundry, asking about his day. I convinced myself I could live in both worlds, that I was handling it. But Mateo began asking questions. Why was I hiding us? Why did I act like it was shameful if I claimed to believe in it? He told me I was trapped. That Eric, if he truly loved me, would want to be free, even if that freedom didn't include him at the center. And slowly that seed took root. I began researching open relationships, ethical non-monogamy, polyamory. The language made it sound intellectual, empowered, evolved. Maybe I thought we could redefine love instead of tearing apart. Mateo was encouraging, convinced we were doing something brave. He even offered to speak to Eric with me, so we could be honest, respectful, adult. I believed him. I told myself this wasn't betrayal. It was transformation. So one quiet Sunday morning, with the smell of coffee in the air and sunlight warming the kitchen tiles, I sat across from Eric and told him we needed to talk. Really talk. He didn't react at first. Just blinked slowly and set down his tablet. And then he laughed. Not out of humor. It was hollow, stunned, disbelieving. Then came the questions. You're sleeping with Mateo? How long? Are you serious? I told him the truth. I didn't sugarcoat it. I said I still loved him, that this didn't mean I wanted to leave, only that I needed something more and maybe we could find a new way forward. He looked at me like I was a stranger wearing his wife's skin. No yelling, no name-calling. He just stood up and left. Not a word, just silence and the soft sound of the front door closing behind him. 3 hours later, he returned. Calm, too calm. He looked at me and said, "Okay." Invite him over. I was stunned. I asked him to repeat it. He did. You said you wanted to talk. So let's talk with him. I didn't know if it was a trap. Mateo thought it was progress. He's opening up, he said, hopeful. The next night, Mateo came over. Eric poured whiskey for all three of us. For a while it was quiet. Mateo tried to ease into it gently, talking about love not being a finite resource, about how he wasn't replacing anyone, how this could be shared. He used phrases like emotional transparency and love as expansion. Eric listened. He nodded. His eyes gave nothing away. Then, without warning, he looked directly at me and asked, "How long did you think you could lie to me while still calling honesty?" I didn't have an answer. He turned to Mateo. "You think you're some enlightened savior? You have ed my wife behind my back for months. And now you want me to bless it." Mateo's charm evaporated. "It's not like that," he started, but Eric cut him off. "I brought you into our home, into our life. And this is how you repay that? I don't share. I don't beg. And I don't rebuild what someone else decided to burn." Then he looked at me, not with anger, not with cruelty, just finality. "You made your choice, both of you, and now I'm making mine." Then he walked away, from the room, from the house, from the marriage. 2 weeks later, the divorce papers arrived. No arguments, no ultimatums, just clean, quiet ending. And Mateo? He didn't stay, not for long. Once the thrill of hiding was gone, so was the spark. The fantasy didn't survive daylight. He drifted away and I let him. We both knew the truth, what we had only lived in the shadows. Now I live alone. Sometimes Eric calls. Not often, but when he does, his voice sounds older, tired. Sometimes he just says, "I still miss you." And then he hangs up. It guts me every time, because I miss him too. But missing someone doesn't erase what you did to them. Wanting them back doesn't mean you deserve a second chance. I thought I was expanding love, opening doors. But really, I was dressing up betrayal in prettier language. I told myself Eric would understand, because I needed him to, because I couldn't face what it meant if he didn't. But he didn't understand. He walked away. And maybe that was the bravest choice anyone made, because love without truth is just a performance. And once trust is broken, even the deepest love can't carry its weight forever. I thought I could have everything. I ended up with nothing. And I did it all with my own hands.